takes bright people and smashes them into pavement on a regular basis.
There's only one bottom line on Wall Street. That bottom line is how much money you make.
This is one of the most stressful jobs on earth. You have stress every single second. Not everybody can survive.
Arrogance, greed, corruption, those are all crap when you work on Wall Street.
Whatever your background was, can you make money, can't contribute to profitable idea.
You'd wake up in the morning with an immediate feeling of dread no matter what. And that is simply because you know what you're doing, you realize it will be very fleeting.
Being a woman on Wall Street, I think it is its good parts and bad parts. Sometimes still feel it's a little bit of boys' network. Sometimes you're being taken as seriously because, you wear a skirt and makeup.
There are two major things in this business to make money. Wall Street. First, let's do business. And the second most important thing, discipline.
A lot of our clients look to us to make the money, but also to something an insurance policy if the market really gets nasty. Yesterday the market was nasty, and we had a good day.
There are two numbers I don't think I'll forget. One is 15, and that is the age I moved out of my parents' house. And the other is 27. That's the age I retired.
It's about making money, but you have to have discipline, you have to be clairvoyant, you have to be obsessed and fearless. When Guy was managing money in a loft in Soho, he was knocking it out of the park and no one knew he existed. And now he has an office in a midtown high-rise, and his performance has been off the charts, putting him in the top 5% of managers.
We are investors in U.S. equities only, and we are a long-short fund, which means that we are basically making bets, if you will, on stock prices going up and stock prices going down. We trade for both our personal equity as well as that of both institutional and high net worth investors. All righty. We got a lot of money to put to work, so we're going to put some of it to work today.
I have always worked on getting one degree upon another to show that I'm actually well accomplished. I did feel under pressure to prove that. You have to have a certain resilience for Wall Street.
Gets stressful here usually around the open, which is at 9:30 Eastern Time. There's usually some information that has come to light overnight. Thank you.
Hey, chill.
What?
You gonna be good in school today?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
And what are you gonna do?
I'm going to learn things.
You wanna be like Daddy, a day trader?
Yeah, I want
sure?
to get $1 million.
You want $1 million?
Yes.
That's a good one. How about 2 million?
Uh-oh, that's 5 million.
5 million, okay. But you know what needs to be done in order to make this kind of money, right?
I'm thinking.
It's actually very simple. You gotta start in a high school, have a good grades, and then try to go to college, and then hopefully, you're gonna get a good job and then work long hours, and then you're gonna be better than anybody else. It's the same as in trading, what the Daddy do.
Alex came to the country about 10 years ago, and he had a degree in finance from Moscow. His dream was to work on Wall Street, and he found out very early on that his degree wasn't worth anything in the U.S. He felt that he could beat the market. 7 years later, and no losing months, he is on his way to becoming a star.
It's right here. The New York Stock Exchange.
There's a cliche, you eat what you kill. And that's very much the culture of Wall Street. Waking up and feeling like you're on a hunt.
I work for an asset management company that has about $6 billion under management. I have to be at work at 8 o'clock and be pretty much bright-eyed and bushy-tailed because I cover European markets. By the time that I get to the office, they just come back from their lunch break.
Hey, Christina, the coffee machine has gone wacko. You'll find no quarter in the coffee machine. My title?
Yeah.
President. We're not big on titles here.
Parker is, he runs the show, and then Mike is the analyst. And so pretty much anything Parker wants done, I execute.
I analyze primarily biotech companies that research and develop pharmaceuticals.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah.
You got a second on IRA? As a hedge fund, we can do things that your traditional mutual fund can't do. We can use leverage if we want to. At $1. I mean, also, we can short sell, which means you are betting on the security price going down. Hey, Christina, short 10,000.
Can you please short sell 10,000 for me?
The risks associated with a short are much higher. If you go and short a $100 stock, the most you can make is $100, and the most you can lose is infinite. So it's a little bit more intense emotionally, and that's why a lot of people don't like the business. Technically, Wall Street is a street down in southern Manhattan. On the corner of Wall Street and Broad is the New York Stock Exchange. But what is Wall Street in the more figurative sense? It's the biggest financial market in the world. The siren song of money can get so alluring. It's highly competitive with extraordinarily intelligent people.
There's a lot of competition, and you need to do everything to stay ahead of the pack.
Out of 21 months, we've had one down month, and we would like to not have any more down months.
For me, this is a 24 hours a day job. I cannot come home and say to my wife, this month I did not make money.
I'm here to make money. Let's be real straight about this.
It's the holy grail. How do you take the lowest risk and get the highest return out of it?
Starting to find a little buy side here. We're here at the American Stock Exchange where in 1987, as everyone knows, the market crashed. On that Monday afternoon, as I was standing doing my job in one of the trading pits you see below me, one of the brokers who was trying to get the attention of another broker actually bit me in the shoulder because I was in his way. I stood there stunned. That's a true story.
It's one of the hardest things for me to explain what I do. I represent, on one side, some of the richest investors on the planet. And on the other side, we try to find undiscovered managers who we hope will be the next superstar. It's an art discovering some of these managers because, for the most part, they like to remain below the radar. I would say 9 out of 10 are going to fail.
This is all we got so far that we've gone over on the short side.
Well, that's not enough.
No.
I basically sit down with my trader and we go through what do we have in the book and what do we think we're going to need to do today. Do we want to add to positions? Do we want to cut positions?
We wanted to wait on these two, right?
We want to wait for them to open and to stabilize. It's a tempting target, but we've been burned too badly on those names.
All right, let's hold off on it.
So
wait.
it is a no-go for the moment. Now here, on the other hand, check our stock loan on that and see whether or not. Can't? No? They have too high an exposure? That's fun. It's always something, isn't it? There's a lot of risk in the market right now, so we're going to be very, very careful about what we do.
If I could talk to trading at Bear Trade and guide them as I'm doing it as well.
No. The way to do it is I want us to open and stabilize. We've got 2 minutes. You've got enough bid here for the time being. We can ease our way into all of it. The market's opened. What's going to happen is you're going to have a flood of orders. Anybody who was short yesterday and thought they were going to get follow-through might be nervous. So what you end up with is a very funky move in the very beginning of the day. You see that reprice right now? Yeah. It's all over the place. You want to get in and get those positions on. It's at the flat line right now.
When Guy's working on a trade, you'll never get his attention. I mean, he just has laser focus, and he'll remain in these positions until he takes his pound of flesh out of the market.
Hold him? Hold him. Okay.
All retiring means is that you don't have to work.
That's 100 points.
And the secret to that is creating enough assets for you to support yourself. I worked at a consumer sector focused hedge fund. I love to meet with the managements of the companies, build financial models, analyze their businesses, and pick stocks. Okay, I'm gonna get them both.
Strong.
Right now I'm in the process of starting my own hedge fund. To start a hedge fund, there's a lot of things that have to happen. You have to have a strategy, and you basically have to build a team before you're in business. Day one, an investor gives you money, they expect you to start performing. Day two.
Another guy resigned.
The board ousted the primary CEO.
The mad scientist.
The mad scientist.
Right now, we are pausing on acting because we're worried about the new guy's resignation.
Okay, I'll tell you my big pet peeve. It's like when you are a company and you're trying so hard to, let's say, you're making a product, and then you see how all the analysts are betting on whether or not the company is going to do right or wrong. I'd rather be the company who's actually making something than being the Weasley analyst who's actually predicting whether or not something's going from A to B. And I don't want to say Weasley, okay, maybe take out Weasley, but yeah, sometimes I feel that it's more honest to be the, honest is not the great word. Let's scratch all that, scratch. I'd rather be the person who's actually making it happen versus you betting whether or not something's going to go up or down.
There's a nefarious image that short sellers are betting on destruction and loss of wealth, and we don't want to have people profiting from other people's loss. There's some countries that don't allow short selling. France, you can't short sell in France. I think that's really short-sighted. Short selling serves a really important public purpose. Short sellers are often ferreting out information that companies are trying to hide. What's the deal with often the late filing? It's just they're slow? Who's the CFO there? And you think he's competent? A healthy market is one where information is broadly disseminated and honestly disseminated. There's a schadenfreude also to Wall Street, and even among so-called friends. As only the Germans could really come up with this word. It's the joy and revelment of seeing somebody else fail.
This is Sandra. Could I please talk to Carl? I just got a call from a German client. Hold on 1 second, please. Kann ich Sie später zurückrufen? I was born in Germany, in a small town, a middle-class family, as the daughter of an Iranian father and German mother. Dankeschön. Bis später. Nothing ever indicated that I would actually make it to New York City down the road, because it's really a long shot, especially considering that I studied law. But it was always my dream to one day make it to the United States. You know, the morning passes very quickly. I get a lot of phone calls, emails. Most of them I tend to answer right away, try to get them out of the way. We want to be able to increase our leverage, be a little more aggressive. I help make deals. We raise capital from primarily institutional investors, and then we structure funds, put that money in there, and we manage it for them. A fund is kind of a shell of where the securities are being put into. I mean, the minimum is going to be 50 million, and we want to ramp up pretty quickly up to 250, 500. Some deals are really sexy. Sometimes it's exciting to close a deal. A lot of energy and testosterone comes together. Ever so often, though, you want to feed your mind some other stuff to maintain and expand other dimensions. For instance, I took up quantum physics in my spare time. It's for non-scientists, though. It's not mathematical, but it's very interesting, you know, because if you work on Wall Street, things can tend to be a little one-sided, and so you want to feed your brain something else for a change.
It's interesting that we're all working with the same data. We all have the same earnings, forecasts, reports. But the incredible thing about Alex is he reads the way the market interprets that data. He gets in sync with the market.
At the age of 22, I came to the United States. First 3 years I spent as a cab driver. Then I got into the Wall Street, got my licenses, and I become a day trader. How I make money, I do a lot of charts. I'll probably go through 700 or 800 charts. Did they go up? How did they finish? That's what happened to gold. It was a huge turnaround. So what I will do, I'll buy a basket of gold and steel and see what's gonna do. Victor, what's up? We probably doing 500 to 1,000 trades a day. We care what's gonna be in the next 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, a variety of different intervals. And there's maybe 10,000 people like we are. So figure out every time I'm by the computer, I'm competing against the person like me. Yes. If you made money today, somebody else lost it. Yeah, I'm looking to get in. I probably would make much more money than I'm making right now, but taking a much significant losses and be more volatile, probably be up $10,000, be down $10,000, but this is not my style. Every month you have to be up, you have to get the paycheck. The volume is decent, it's about 2 million shares. It's gonna be a nice comeback. This is a fast making a decision. This is like a police, you either take a shot or you're gonna get shot. Day traders buy here, sell there. Hedge funds buy here, try to sell here. Big investor buy here, hopefully to sell there. But we're all here for the same. This is our job, you know, buy low, sell high.
Aha! Seems somebody got this thing to work. There are things I really like about Wall Street, and there are things I don't really like about Wall Street. The great thing about it, it really is a melting pot. There's a meritocracy to it, and maybe that's too big a word, but it's based off of merit, usually. He changed his name to Inherit Money. Oh my God, the shame of it. What I don't like about Wall Street is there's too much of an urgency on this exact moment. Whipping in and out of stocks, pace it a little bit more. I mean, this is a marathon. It's not a bunch of wind sprints.
On Wall Street, there are two different sides of the street. There's the buy side and the sell side. The difference, really easy to understand. If you're on the sell side and you're angry at the guy you're talking to, you have to slam down the phone before you say, F you. If you're on the buy side, you get to say, F you, then hang up the phone.
Patience. Patience is what counts here.
Got to be able to take advantage of that dip a little bit. Hey, Chris, I want you to hold on that apple trade.
We got 3 minutes. This is like being an air traffic controller at times. It is as stressful as it comes. You might think you are onto something. It's 4% instead of 5%.
Gotcha.
And it starts moving away from you.
It's going to find its line at 150.
You're not in control of the information. You're not in control of the market.
It's much like an ER, so you never know what's going to hit you. If the timing's right, everything will happen at once.
4 months ago.
True, but you have to understand that the reports that we just did were never requested before. So
I'm going to give them 1 day, and in 1 day it doesn't happen, I'm going to create a storm because I'm really annoyed.
Stress is the biggest challenge on Wall Street. You're a day trader, you're a hedge fund manager, you're an institutional trader. Anything on Wall Street is a huge stress.
It has a tendency to burn people out.
There's nobody that's been around for any period of time that hasn't had many sleepless nights, thinking, what the hell did I just do? And the person that hasn't had that sleepless night, I wouldn't trust them with a dime because they're too cocksure.
When guys start to believe that they're invincible, is like the moment before they're about to take a beating.
But the moment that you're stressed and under pressure, that's when you have to perform.
So today, for the moment, is a profitable day. So you picked up 40 bips. Doesn't make anybody happy. You can never rest on your laurels here. It's really important to be humble because the market will humble you in an instant. You know, there's an old expression that the market has a paddle big enough to give anyone a spanking.
For me, day is over 4 o'clock. I come tomorrow as a fresh man, not the day, not the money. You cannot walk away from this business. All the people, when they try to make money, what they're trying to do with it? They're trying to invest. It's a circle. You love what you do, and this is a kind of job which produces a nice income, so you put enough money away, you can wisely invest and support your beautiful lifestyle. That's what the Wall Street is all about. It's about money.
For me, money is just a tool to live the life I want to live. My father made a lot more money than my mother did. When I was 11 years old, they divorced. That had a huge impact on me because a lot of his salary went with him. It made me determined that I would not find myself dependent upon someone else to support me.
The other aspect of the job, it does involve a lot of travel, which, for better or for worse, can affect your personal life with your family. No, I'm taking a client. I'm taking him for golf. Actually, we'll be back Monday.
If you don't have a real love of what you do here, you're not going to survive. Even my wife says it to me at times, says, you know, why don't you just stop? And, you know, I suppose the question is, stop and then do what? You can't let your own biorhythms and self-worth and happiness be completely
governed by the volatility in the tape. I've seen people get seriously manic depressive that weren't necessarily prone to that. And they just couldn't handle the ups and downs of their portfolios. I think a lot of Wall Street's success is timing, which itself can be a function of luck. But I guess it was Napoleon that said, "Bring me the lucky generals," because sometimes you make your own luck.
Sandy's an incredible networker. Her legal abilities and her communicative skills just make her, and her look, make her incredible and different. Everyone wants to sign a contract with Sandra. I mean, reality is she's gorgeous. When she comes into a room, you say, what the f is she doing here? But never underestimate Sandy, because she'll know the facts. Sandy's brilliant.
When I came over, I knew very few people, and I started from scratch networking.
Sandy is helping me search and identify undiscovered superstar managers.
We are going to the American Council on Germany's awards dinner tonight. It's a great place to network and to meet people. There will be a lot of important business people, corporate people, Wall Streeters. How this works. Oh, it's lovely to see you again, but I don't want to keep you. Let's circulate. The table's like $25,000, so be on the ball. If you go there, make the most of it. Networking is really key because you cannot survive in this business by just sitting behind your desk. I'm very happy where I'm at now, but I would like to keep on growing. And part of that may be transitioning further away from just putting together deals to manager selection. Thank you. When I came here, there were instances where I felt lonely because I was so wrapped up in work and, I didn't have that many friends. Thank you. Thank you. A downside to being a successful woman is that you're always working, and before you know it, another year has passed, another 3 years have passed, and then you get another great offer. And so you kind of get a little bit sidetracked. That may have happened a little bit in my case.
Enjoy dinner, and hope to see you soon again. Bye.
It's never too late, so I'm still looking forward and hopefully starting a family. I think that would be most important to me.
I think wedding proposals are going to be your biggest challenges.
I just got $1 million!
I love America.
These are all Wall Streeters. It's about being number one.
Market's sold off about 50 points over the last 10 or 15 minutes.
I am losing money.
Oh, right. We're going in high def.
You're wonderful. That's all good stuff.
Thank you.
I hope you're filming him because he's handsome.
Thank you. Let's go.
It was a conference call with a company, and just one of the guys on the call, I think I know who it was. I could just hear him on the mic saying, every time the CEO would open his mouth. So.
Wall Street takes the brightest people and smashes them into the pavement on a regular basis.
There's only one bottom line on Wall Street, and that bottom line is how much money you make.
This is like being in a foxhole all day long with your enemies. I've seen many people come close to blows over a transaction.
Greed is ugly. Make as much money as you can so that you can get out of there before it turns you to the dark side. Wall Street is all about greed, the worst of human emotions, and just not a good place to be. But it's great to try and make some money. You know, that's capitalism. I started my own hedge fund senior year of college in March of 2003. I work out of my apartment. I commute from my bedroom to my living room. I can do this pretty much from anywhere I have an internet connection. Back in 1999, the stock market was going pretty crazy. I was in high school. My parents gave me $13,000 of my bar mitzvah money, put it into a discount online brokerage, and I turned that $13,000 into a fully audited pre-tax sum of $1.65 million. It all happened freshman year in college. I pretty much made $1 million in 5 months. Give me that, you little bitch. I'm waking up in my dorm room and I'm up 20 grand in the day. It almost wasn't real. It was almost like a video game. That was sweet.
Tim Sykes is a trader that I've been reading about over the years, and I've had my eye on him. As a Tulane, sophomore, junior, he launched a hedge fund out of his dorm room. From all I know about his trading style and his pedigree and his smarts, you watch him. He'll have 20, 30 million under management soon.
I'm 25 and I'm looking for respect because I haven't gotten any. Even though I've been doing this 8 years, people still don't really take me seriously. That's fine. I plan on doing this another 50 years. It's 9:29. The market is about to open. There it is. It's 9:30.
64.
You know, it's sort of unusual. Market's sold off about 50 points. No good reason. But stock that's been under pressure is starting to find some buy sides.
4,900 shares and a half ATS.
The market is open. Everything's going haywire. This is all the buyers and sellers. Everyone's just panicking. They're just shitting their pants right now. It's going to be a crazy day.
Shares and a half ATS. 27.5. You bought 4,800 shares and a half UK. Yeah, 27.5. Half bid on the wire.
I'm Bob Nunn. I'm a specialist and the managing director of floor operations for Cohen Specialists on the floor of the American Stock Exchange.
2,700 shares, Paladin trades at 20. You sold another 1,500 shares. Take book.
We'll certainly put best effort. Michael and I, Mike Kavanaugh here to my right, we're monitoring about 12 different securities. Right now it's off about 12% on the day with some news this morning.
One half bid size.
Unfortunately, the markets are down right now because of the plot discovered to bomb the Holland Tunnel.
Markets are not happy. Markets are not happy at all. There's a lot of things to be worried about. It's not a time to run in and buy the dip at the moment. You don't want to allow one mistake to undo everything you've just done for months. So we'll be playing it close to the vest and very conservatively.
This is one of the busier areas that we have on the floor, so it requires a lot of attention. Really what we're doing is we're helping to transition price moves, both up and down. The American Stock Exchange, if you look at the structure of the building, the booths behind us are high in the air, and that's where the clerks used to lean over and with hand signals deliver the orders to the brokers on the trading floor long before we had cell phones down here. And the reason we used to do that is because that's what we were used to when we were outside on the street. The clerks used to hang out the windows of the buildings surrounding the Wall Street area, and they used to hand signal orders to the brokers that were standing in the street below. And those brokers would move from lamppost to lamppost where different securities were traded. Finally, in 1921, we decided to build a building and move indoors and stay out of the elements. This is the building that you see behind us today.
I'm in the process of closing a loan fund. The target size is going to be $500 million. We're getting the marketing materials out to potential clients and seeing approximately how much they will commit. This is not good. This is going to create a major headache for me today because the colleague didn't do what he was supposed to do last night, which is send out documents that were necessary to be able to close today. And if we can't close today, we're going to lose the deal. There's just so much you can do yourself. You have to rely on outside service providers such as lawyers and auditors. It's very important that everybody is with a program and stays on track.
I'm usually on the road about 5:15, 5:30, and I'm in the city by 7. You know, there's a lot to do and a lot to get ready for. I'd like to know all the positions. I'd like to know what's going on in the world, what happened overnight. Market opens up at 9:30, and from there on in, my day is filled with just a whole host of different things. IFO to the moon, Alice. You missed it.
IFL offered up.
Sold. Sold.
8,000 trades in 92, take book.
So the way a transaction takes place, you're sitting at home, you decide you want to buy a security. And you call up your broker, say, I want to buy this stock. That broker will in turn call his representative on the American Stock Exchange. That broker will take the order from the sales rep, and he will take that to what they call a specialist post. That's where we stand all day. That's a central location where all of the transactions take place in this particular security. If the broker wants to buy the stock, he'll pay the offer or the price that someone is willing to sell it, the lowest possible price. The guys walking around in the aisles are mainly brokers and traders. The guys behind the posts are the specialists. They're the ones handling the order flow, sort of like the traffic cop, auctioneer, and trader, all in one.
So I just shorted 2,100 shares of this stock, betting that it'll go down 597. Right now it's 590. I short sell small cap and micro cap equities. So this is the chart of the stock I'm playing. You can see this is the past 10 days. It's really done nothing up until here when a newsletter promoted it, but it's just bull news. I mean, after I did all my research last night, and I've come to the conclusion that this stock is going down big today. Look at this stock is about to break out. It's going, baby. This is gonna be a damn good short later. Mark the time, it's at 10:15 a.m. It could keep going higher, or my guess, end of the day, it closes at $5.60. My whole strategy is trying to find these stocks that shouldn't be hot, and this, I believe, is one of them. Shorting is so mysterious. It's kind of like hedge funds. So if you run a short-selling hedge fund, God forbid, you're the devil. It's unpatriotic. I mean, I'm betting against American companies. I'm rooting for them to fail. Little do they know that the companies that I'm shorting, they don't deserve to have a high stock price. So I'm not a bad guy. I'm just taking advantage of the fact that bad guys are out there. When you short a stock, you're basically taking a negative position in the company. And therefore, in order to take a negative position, you have to borrow shares from somebody who has a positive position. So it's actually kind of a loan.
What do you leave? Why would you pay? Oh. You know what? Tell Rob he just confuses the hell out of me. Why would you leave 3,000 shares to work? 3,100 shares to work. This work is not easy at all. You're always thinking. You always have to be thinking. Your brain takes a pounding. We've had people with heart attacks on the trading floor have to be carried off. So there's a high level of emotion and there's a high level of stress, and every day is a different scenario.
Wall Street is a great place because never have so many been paid so much for adding so little.
I'm basically calling you to tell you that I'm expecting to see the documents today. Let me stop you right there. You shouldn't have told me that I was going to be ready yesterday, because I, in turn, told other people who were relying on this, and I'm very concerned. To be quite honest with you, I expect to see something by this afternoon. A lot of this business is driven by deadlines that have to be met because you have a closing upcoming. Could you put this away from me? So right now I'm going to write him an email and the partner that he works with, just to make sure that we'll eventually get everything that's necessary.
I'm betting 300 shares against this company right now. And I'm up on my $2,000, I'm up $15. I don't want $15, I want $20. I gotta get more greedy. Come on, give me that. Boom. 670. Oh, look at this. This is a beautiful fake out. It's going right back up to 620. And meanwhile, the stock is breaking out. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful. But in the afternoon, if the stock does what I think it's going to do, it should fade pretty nicely. This bathrobe is good luck. Every single one of my major winning trades has been with me. This is Timmy, no logo. My grandmother made this for me. I've made $554 on the day, and this is just small scalping. To make those $554, I've traded 18,000 shares. So I've traded basically $100,000 worth of my capital. Even though I do have a big pile of money and I do have other investors, I'm half the fund. So if I screw up, I can't afford this apartment anymore. And I like this apartment. My goal is to build my hedge fund, to get taken seriously by the industry, to show that my strategy is viable. So I'm about to have a very wealthy potential investor come over. I am going to explain just my whole strategy and basically try and get him to give some of his millions over to me. Tanking. Why do you have to tank right now? This is why I hate planning meetings in the middle of the day, because right when you plan the meeting, the stock is about to tank. And then you're conflicted. Do I take the meeting, which is much better long term, or do I try and make a few hundred, maybe a few $1,000s? We're short bias, short-term trading hedge fund. The key is just finding these small caps and micro caps that are doing something, because there's hundreds, thousands of small caps, micro caps that do nothing. That's where my experience comes in handy, because after 8 years of doing this crap, stock is breaking perfectly. I have to play this. You'll see. Come here. And it went up to 640 3 times. Then it kind of hung around 620, and now it's banging around 605 again. 4,000 shares. Yeah. Take out 602. Take out 6. There it is. Boom. Price hit 6 and took out 6. It immediately went to 590 because there was nothing but sells for those few seconds. So the key is to buy into that selling. Take out the 6s. Bam. Right now I have 2,400 shares left. These stocks are so volatile that they can flip on a dime like that. As of 1:28 p.m., I'm up $1,086. And I'm out.
One of the things that trips people up all the time in the trading game is that once you've hit your objective, you need to pull yourself out of the market and rest for a moment. We do that all the time. We're not just simply always in the market waiting for the opportunity to kind of float along and try to grab it. We're sitting, lying in wait.
You hit it right on negative 20. You're a maniac.
Is that perfect?
That's friggin' hysterical.
All we have to do is increase these
by like a gazillion, and you're good shape.
The art of what he does is just to identify the rhythm of the market, and when he's in sync with the rhythm of the market, he'll just stay with it.
I work alongside with Chris Leonard, my senior trader. He is responsible for taking my decision as to what we want to put into the book and determining what is the most effective way to be able to actually put the trade on. Sometimes people say, well, why don't you just buy it? At times, it may be more prudent to buy it over the course of the day or over the course of several days, where Chris becomes of enormous value. He is in a position to really understand what's going on in the marketplace.
You don't just buy stocks, you also sell short stocks, which basically gives you the ability to make money in a downward market. When you're initially going into positions and then obviously exiting them, yeah, it's a little hectic, but you gotta expect that.
Is this the next IFO? It's fitting the profile. The screen up here is telling me across the board what the market's doing. Each one of these panels, these lines, columns here, divided up by the stocks that we have here at the Post. Each one of the specialists is responsible for running their own panels here.
How many 75 cent bid for 10,000 on this, right? What stock?
If someone does come to the Post and wants to sell a particular stock and there's no one around to buy it, we as specialists have to buy it. It's a federal obligation. We have to maintain a fair and orderly market, and we have to be willing to put our capital on both sides, whether it's the buy side or the sell side. It doesn't matter whether it's 100 shares or 1.5 million shares. There is no natural buying and selling occurring all the time. A lot of times you may have 5 or 6 buyers out here, and we're the only seller. And it has to be done in an orderly fashion until such time that we can find natural sellers to accommodate those buyers. But let me get this clear. If there's no buyers, we have to buy. The day of the '87 crash, specialists were on the floor trying to borrow money against their insurance policies and double and triple mortgage their homes to stop the market from free falling. Someone needed to step in and buy when no one else wanted to buy. And that's where a specialist comes in. No, stops are light on the book. Wreck it.
I'm showing like 2,000 at 68.
Done. There are no contracts here. Everything is done verbally. Your transaction and your word is your bond. So you have to have a high sense of integrity to survive down here. One of the unique parts about the Amex here Because I've seen many people come close to blows over a transaction and then be seen in the bar around the corner having drinks after work. So, you know, it's a passion. There's a lot of passion that goes on here. It's not Monopoly, it's real money. I actually threw a $3,000 monitor at a guy once because he cut me out of a trade that I actually was entitled to. Cost me a $100 fine. I deserved it. I got a little overheated. Wall Street is a small community. Everybody knows everybody. It's a family. It's a tight group, and it's a passionate group.
11 Wall Street, the New York Stock Exchange. Sure, it's a place of worship today, but before the late 18th century, somehow it didn't even exist. Before then, traders and speculators would gather under a buttonwood tree at the foot of Wall Street to trade informally. In 1792, they finally got their act together and started the New York Stock Exchange. Today, the exchange has a global capitalization of $21 trillion.
I'm working with Rich Tech on discovering new managers that have great potential that haven't really broken into the market yet.
My dream is to find a Guy in a loft in Soho who's doing an incredible job and no one in the world had heard of him. I explained some of the process to Sandy, and Sandy is introducing undiscovered managers at a rate of 2 or 3 a week. She just put word out that she was looking for these types of managers, and everyone wants to help Sandy.
I'll be meeting with Bruce today to evaluate whether there would be good chances of raising capital for him. To be able to judge him better, you have to meet their staff, and you want to hear them elaborate on their investment techniques.
We're a very, very specific fund that invests in turnarounds. The way we play the game is we hit a home run 10% of the time. And that means a $2 stock going to 20, or a $1 stock going to 12, or a $3 stock going to 15.
How would you describe your strategy, and how can it be, because it seems like you're mostly long.
Typically, we go into a situation, and in turnarounds, it's management, management, management. We bet on management. And turnarounds take a lot of time, so we're patient. But if management doesn't perform, and we give them a lot of slack, and they don't get the job done, we get proactive. We get involved with the company. We help the company execute their business plan. Sometimes we get control. You know, we call up other shareholders and we sort of bound together to try to get control of the company and make things happen, because we want to make money on our positions. We've got beautiful views of Fifth Avenue here. That's what makes it special.
After 9/11, most money managers that used to be on Wall Street moved up to Midtown, and Wall Street is more of a synonym of that whole culture and industry rather than a particular geographical area.
Yeah, the last half hour on the trading floor is really busy. It's really, sometimes you got to really concentrate, especially when the market starts to make a decent move like it is right now. There's nothing really out there that shows why it should have sold off. You know, 30% of what it was up on the day. But, you know, it's taking a good hit here.
You bought 4,900 shares and a half ATS.
Something caused it to sell off here in the last few minutes.
Half of 24 at 51 sold. 49 more trades at 51. 5,000 trades at 50. You bought 2,500 shares and a half.
Sounds like HOM is picking up a lot more.
I'm out. Oh, no. What's he doing? I need to know what he's doing. You bought 4,800 shares and a half DK. You bought 4,000 shares and a half ATS.
You leave 15,000?
15,000. All right, listen, I'm going after you. Listen, you bought 4,400 shares and a half book. Half bid.
He's almost done. He leaves nothing. Got 4 minutes.
6 for 1,057 sold. 1,000 trades at 56. 54, 5,000.
90 bid away, buddy. 90 bid away.
54 for 3,000 shares, 2,059.
The most challenging thing is having to make split-second decisions. You can't really think that fast, even though you believe you can. You can't. You're going on instinct. You're going on reaction. And that's the toughest part of the job, is having to stay focused through that.
5,000, 2,057. Yeah. Offers a light after that.
He's going to step up.
Yes.
Okay. Did you stop
2,000 trades at 57. ATS 61 for 2002, take it. 2,000 trades 62. At 65, 5,065, 1-5, 5,000.
At 41, 5 seconds.
1-5, 5,000.
35 bid, 35 for 1,000. Customer's got no room?
No, I'm saying 63 for 4,000 at 4, take it. 4,000 trade 64.
What's for sale in the bell?
5 more trade 64.
Not enough to get it there. 4,000 or 5,000 shares, maybe?
6,000 trades at 63. 2-5, 5 up. All right,
Nice, close them up.
Close them up.
Amazing, a lot of stress. I can't tell you how many times I've had what I thought were chest pains, and numbness in the arm, and sweaty forehead, and sweaty palms, and dizziness. It's happened at least a half a dozen times. It's the most exciting job you could ever have. If you don't love this place, don't work here. You have to love it. You have to be passionate about it. You have to really care about it. It's a unique person that's able to sustain a career down here.
This is an endless curiosity in trying to predict the future. This is the afternoon fade that I'm talking about. I was about 2 hours too early, because once it cracked 590, you can see it went straight to 550, and I did not take advantage of it. I would have gotten to the $4,000 barrier that I wanted. This is ridiculous. I had 14,000 shares left. This is perfect, and I just missed it. You check back. I said 562 close. That was my call at 10 a.m. You rewind it. We can play this over and over again. I still fully expect this thing to tank in the afternoon. End of the day, it closes at $5.60. So don't tell me you can't predict where the stocks are going, because this was dead on. This is opportunity lost. In the end, we all learned a valuable lesson, not to walk away from the computer in the mid-afternoon when you think there's going to be a mid-afternoon fade. That's it. Lesson learned. Goodbye.
Okay? It's a public offer, it's not me. Okay? So stop pulling my chain.
Some of the ladies like me. Some of the ladies do not. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm saying, but it just sounded good.
Oh, so cute. And we have the same hairstyle too.
And I'll have 2 orders of fries and a Coke with that, please.
There's only one bottom line on Wall Street, and that bottom line is how much money you make.
Whatever your background was, it's can you make money? Can you contribute to profitable ideas?
This is like being in a foxhole all day long with your enemies. I've seen many people come close to blows over a transaction.
Greed is ugly. Make as much money as you can so that you can get out of there before it turns you to the dark side.
Do you want me to buy it on a straight plastic or a zero plastic?
1,000 trades.
It's a public offer, it's not me. Okay? So stop pulling my chain.
If you weren't around, who would I make fun of?
Well,
I need you.
you need me.
Hey, heard
You think it's easy to make money in this business?
there is no limit for you, huh?
What do you need?
90 bid, 10,000.
Sold.
What am I taking?
BK.
How you spell that?
You're a very funny guy.
I try my best.
I think Wall Street gets a bad name. I think people think that it's a bunch of stuffed shirts with master's degrees in finance and MBAs from Wharton and Harvard, and forget about it. I mean, there are real people down here with real emotions and real passion.
Floor traders, basically, they usually have some kind of headpiece on, like I do. So the earpiece is just to communicate with my booth to let them know what I'm doing or what I should be doing. That's the mind behind the puppet. That's the one that's pulling my strings, basically. Those are mostly option booths right there. All the way at the top in the middle, that's an equity firm. And then South Balcony, that one is an equity and option firm. It does both. When they call me with my orders, they tell me what I'm getting, comes through my handheld, electronic device that I have, and I run around executing orders. Sometimes I have to leave them with the specialists who watch it for me because I have so many that I have to do. Timmy, SCA, can I check it again, please?
SCA, yes, sir.
There you Thank you very much.
Got 2,000 buy.
I got another 2,000 buy here, and sell 1,500 at 61 Apex.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Party on.
Most people don't understand what I do. Most people don't understand what a hedge fund is. I mean, when I lived down in Florida, I said I run a hedge fund. They thought I was in landscaping. You know, that's not even a joke. Traders, we're trying to figure out the future. I mean, this is the last undiscovered mystery on Earth. Traders are no better than 100 years ago. You know, I mean, we're still guessing where the market is going to be. Yeah, we have technical analysis. We have all these tools to try and figure out what's going on, but we don't know. It's the great race to try and figure out the unknown. That's what it's about. Today, my mom is coming over in a little bit to say hello and clean and replenish my water supplies. She's kind of my personal slave.
May I come in?
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Timmy. How are you?
How are you?
Good.
Hello.
Oh, you look so handsome. I come here once every 2 or 3 weeks to clean his room and to do his bathroom. And it gives me a chance to see him. He's still my baby. Can't help it. My only child.
There you go.
So I just come in, I just feel needed. I do my mommy thing. See, I make Timmy's bed, and at home, my husband makes our bed. And I have my own cleaning lady, but somehow or another, I became Timmy's cleaning lady.
She cleans the apartment. She brings me food, water, does my laundry. My other roommate cooks for me. My mom's not that good of a cook.
Well, today it took me 2.5 hours to get here. Some of my friends laugh at me. They can't believe that I go through this, but I enjoy it. You know, I don't really care what my friends think. I feel good that he has a clean bed in a clean bathroom. I don't have to worry about him for a few weeks, because mothers always worry about their sons.
Oh, did he? All right, that explains something. That's interesting. I didn't have any clue of that. So look, what we do is analyze companies. That sounds pretty bad for those guys. Where public valuation is inefficient, you can go in there and find an opportunity to sell something that's overvalued or buy something that's undervalued. 30 was when it was. The valuation of any company is best when it reflects the truth. If all you have is the company implying that things are great and things are growing, its stock is going to have a much higher valuation. I was out at the company. They said that they got the more. Short sellers, they're a reality check sometimes to almost an exclusively bullish presentation by whether it be the companies themselves or the fee-hungry Wall Street analysts that promote them. So it's good to have some balance to that. One of the companies we are following is a very expensive designer jean manufacturer. $250 jeans. Why anybody buys those, I don't know, but they do. People do buy them. So this company, we think, has an inventory problem, but they're not acknowledging it to anybody. These jeans, a couple of years ago, were the hot jeans. And so they gave specific stores exclusive right to sell the jeans in a certain area. So we're going to go up to the Bronx. We're going to go to a kind of a retail alley. And the reason for that is one of the ways to check whether they're overstocked is to look and see if some of the B and C stores are showing up with product.
You're the person that we want out there. You know the difference between a good product and a bad product, and you're going to bring them in and get them right where you want them to be. That's your strength. And some of the guys that you've shown in so far have incredible potential. We want a guy that's young, aggressive, hungry, smart, and that hasn't lived through some of the market cycles that people over 30 have lived through.
Why do you think that's important?
Because they don't have any prejudices. We'd like to talk to anybody that feels they have a distinct edge in any kind of a market, whatever they base it on. Whether they base it on migratory routes of elephants that a legendary trader who's attracted legendary investors developed a program on.
Say that again, what did he do?
He developed a trading program based on migratory routes of elephants in Africa.
What does that have to do with anything?
Believe it or not, there's a pattern behind how they do what they do and where they go. And he found stocks that tend to follow that pattern. If he decides if the elephant goes too far to the right and it needs to come back to the left, He'll buy or sell a stock
Are you
based on those
serious?
patterns. Absolutely. It's true, it's
I
incredible.
thought you were kidding.
What it is markets trend. If you could identify that trend and stay with that trend until that trend changes, you could make an awful lot of money.
I need a drink.
Timoteo,
What?
what the hell are these handcuffs doing here?
You shut up, I am losing money. I won them at Dave & Buster's. Go away.
Oh.
Leave me alone. I'm down 5 grand.
Okay with the RS? Hey, Artie. You're on top of that ERS of the Midwest? There's a whole different language that's spoken on a trading floor. And everyone knows the language.
BK? Homie, what's here? Don't lie to me.
Small at 91. What do you need to do? 2,500 shares.
I'm a buyer, 90 top, 10 grand. I'd own it there. 90
It's a minus tick, offered at 1.
There are correct ways to bid for a stock. There's correct ways to offer or sell a stock. And if you don't do it the right way, the person's not going to know what you're talking about. Can't sell it at 90 here.
All right, I'll buy the stock away at 90.
All right.
And then I'll pay 91 for 7,000.
Sold.
What do I take?
3,090 is ATS. 91 stocks BK.
How do you spell that?
You know, it was old the 30th time you said it, okay?
It's still funny.
Yeah, you can drop it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love it.
The Gecko. It's a blue shirt with a white collar, as popularized by Michael Douglas's character Gordon Gekko in the movie Wall Street. They go in and out of style, but everybody's got one in the back of their closet. As in, hey man, you gonna wear your gecko?
We want you to be out there, get in sync with the investment community, and you are. You want to get that rhythm, you're nailing that rhythm, and you're going to bring us some of the biggest investors and some of the biggest managers on the planet. Because they're attracted to you naturally, and after the initial attraction, you have the follow-through, so it just gets done. Everybody's going to listen to you, so it's your platform, and you can do anything that you want to do. And the good thing about you is you don't take advantage of it. You don't know it is the good thing.
No, I don't.
So, I mean, that's a great thing. That's a gift. Forgetting about business, your biggest challenge is going to be to fend off the wedding proposals.
Wall Street is paying a high valuation for the stock because it believes that this is a great company that's not just hit it big in last year's denim craze, but is going to have a long growth story. If in fact they do have an inventory problem and they're going to struggle to meet sales and earnings expectations in the future, so there's money to be made in covering the short, buy low, sell high, but just in reverse order. Right there, right in the window. Jeans of the make that we're looking at, front and center, right in the window. So I'm gonna go check another store.
Yeah, they got them.
These guys are moving product through channels that they initially didn't intend to. The only conclusion I can come up with is because they have excess product and they're trying to get it out the door so they can book it as revenues and earnings. This is supposed to be an exclusive, highly demanded brand that has cachet. They must have had several hundred jeans in there. And that's just what's on display. Jeans and fashion are fads, and so the market shouldn't pay massive multiples for today's hip jean company. This was just a little piece of the puzzle that says the world is flooded with these $300 jeans, and we just saw, one example of that.
Well, I work out of my apartment because I'm a cheap Jew. I can say that I am Jewish. people say, get an office and we'll give you money. And I say, no, give me money and then I'll get an office. Make it worth my while. I mean, this is a tax deduction.
Timmy never ceases to amaze me, okay? And he's always been like this. I think he received about 12 or 13,000 from his bar mitzvah. I don't remember the exact amount, but I know he turned it into 900,000, maybe $1 million. I have complete confidence in Timmy. Not just because I'm his mother, and I'm not just saying that because I'm his mother. I'm not just saying that because I'm his mother. I don't think you'll ever lose money.
All right, I believe you. You don't think I'll ever lose money?
Well, you're going to lose money, but you're also, I mean, everyone loses money at some point in their life, but you're never going...
But you're not saying this just because you're my mother.
No, shut up.
You gonna hit me? You gonna hit me on camera? Bring back my childhood?
Oh, right, I was an abusive mother.
I'm glad you can finally admit it. Thank you. Abused child. Now let's laugh about it. You can't see the scars. They're buried in my heart, you bitch.
He's got a great sense of humor, okay? He's always made people laugh. But Timmy's highly intelligent. I feel very grateful that at a young age he found what he wanted to do. He has his identity, you know, he knows what he's doing and he loves what he does. Okay, Timmy, I'm leaving.
All right, one sec, I'm in the middle of a trade.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye, sweetheart. Love you.
Yeah, love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Today I'm going to meet with a hedge fund manager who was recommended to me by a friend. His name is Kevin Casey, and he runs a hedge fund that focuses primarily on value investments. He has had a great track record, but is still relatively small, and he would like to grow. Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit more about your background?
In the summer of '02 is when I quit the job I was at. I thought stocks were cheap enough and started a hedge fund. Had a mortgage to the apartment. There were 1,000 stocks trading at 10p or less, and that was like the first time in 2 decades that they were that cheap. And
so you yourself took on a lot of risk to become an entrepreneur and start this venture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how much of your own money do you have invested in your fund?
Basically like 90% of my liquid net worth.
That's very good. That's a convincing argument for investors.
Every summer we usually try to hire a few, mostly it's college-level interns, people that have majored in finance are looking to get a little experience, add to the resume. Daniel's the son of one of our senior traders here. Asked if he can come in and get a flavor of what goes on here, what Dad does for a living. And, you know, he's been a good asset. He's a hard worker. He's learned a lot, I think, in the last few weeks, too. So we'll abuse him for the rest of the summer.
I'm learning from a girl over there. Her name is Liz. She teaches me all the tricks and trades of how to work the book.
Basically, I'm the only female in the post. I'm like everyone's mother.
She's the matron of the post. What I do is, back here there are a bunch of files and papers that they spit out through their computers, and they come out through here, and we have to file them, ripping them off, but they come out like rapid fire, usually in the morning, in the late afternoon, right about now. They usually start coming out rapidly. Mr. Nunn here shows me how to read these charts here, and
Teaching them how to follow the market.
Yeah, I read these too. I figured them out too.
Is it harder or not as hard as you thought?
I work harder. No, yeah.
Stop chewing your nails.
I mean, if there's gold rush, and there's not really a lot of gold, you can still make a lot of money selling shovels.
Tonight we're going to the Bull and the Bear at the Waldorf Astoria. And we're gonna meet up with some of my Wall Street friends, and we're gonna talk trading and talk Wall Street and talk finance and have a good time. Most of my friends my age, they're not in an independent situation like me. One trades options, another one assists in trading currency, another one works for a real estate hedge fund. It's just all sorts of Wall Street type people.
At 24 years old, they hire young kids because we're cheap and we work harder than everybody else.
Exactly, we have to.
I don't have a wife and kids to go home to at 6 o'clock at night. I can stay in the office and work if I have to.
One of the few jobs where you have to stay up to date on things, otherwise you're out of the game. And it's also competitive. That's another thing. That's what I like about it the best.
I like Wall Street because you can be against the grain and rebellious and make a lot of money if you do different things than other people do.
Your adrenaline gets flowing, you know, in the morning, and it doesn't stop until the market closes. And
you look forward to going to work in the morning.
Yeah,
you know?
unlike so many
right?
people.
Exactly. I mean, you look forward. You're like today I'm going to go to work. I'm going to make a lot of money.
I bound out of bed when I know that maybe there's a $20 million loan closing that I originated. I mean, you can't complain. Life is good. Life is definitely good.
You know what? The bad days are better than the good days. The good days, you're worried about losing what you just made. The bad days, you're like, my stock got cheaper. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it.
Well,
That's smart value investment.
you also lose a little bit of emotion over time. You know, a $50,000 upday I'd take 3 laps around the campus naked. You know, I'd be pumped up. Now, $50,000, it's a good day, but it's all right. It's not
just
great.
a day. It's not your year.
It's just a day.
It's not like
or
you're
$50,000 down. It's bad, but it's not a deal breaker. If I had $1 million up day or $1 million down day, then talk to me then.
Some of these stocks that may have some momentum, make a judgment call on where they seem to be going towards the end of the day.
Part of the service that a broker provides that a machine does not is information. So that's why some people prefer to use a broker. They get a feel for the marketplace, what's going on. Your partner said this morning we were splitting stock.
You want me to buy it on a straight plus stick or a 0 plus stick?
1,000 trades.
Okay, well then. Ask the geniuses in the booth what would they like me to do. When there's a transaction that takes place, we don't whip a contract out of our pocket and sign it. We don't shake hands even. It's done on a verbal agreement. Last 18, I can't buy it on a straight plus, sorry. Out of luck. Out of luck. Next.
This is my job, having to
Next. Yeah, your job is to stand here and find out a way for us to buy you lunch every day. That's your job.
You didn't buy lunch
In the middle of executing orders.
You didn't buy me lunch today.
They're all friendly. They're all nice to each other. They just bust each other's chops. That's all.
Ask me what they would like me to do.
And who's the 19 offer now?
It's 100 shares. I am not going to
$5 grand.
Oh, I'm showing stock behind it.
You ran liquidity to the market.
That's my job. You got upset when there was a 1 lot there. Now you get upset when there's 5,000 shares there.
I'm not upset.
Come back to me and tell me what you care.
Answer the questions.
Come back to me and tell me what it is you want me to do. Ask the brain trust in the booth.
Get a real dealer over here.
Okay. All right. Well, in the meantime, you've done nothing.
Instead of the imposter.
In the meantime, you've done nothing.
I'm just pretty.
Ask the brain trust in the booth what they want us to do.
Take me out of 20.
How about we take you out to dinner first?
If you work on Wall Street, it comes down to what you're all about. I would absolutely recommend it if you're the right personality. Good night, man. Nice job today.
3 days from now, I have a meeting with a fund of funds. I met with them 6 months ago. Never heard anything back from them. Thought I did horribly. They called me up the other day saying, "We're still following you. We love your strategy. We love your fund. We're thinking about giving you $2.5 to $3 million. Come in on Monday. Talk to us. Let us know how's it going." Out of the blue. So all my work, you don't think it's paying off. You don't think anyone's paying attention. Out of the blue, someone comes and you could just double the size of your fund.
Doesn't it feel like a lot of times as soon as you're about to give up, you make money,
Yes.
or you have a good
Yes.
opportunity?
It's like hooking up with girls. When you're not
It's
looking
very
for
true.
it, it just happens.
There's a common statement known as you money, where the extent that you can say, I eat you, I can walk into my boss's office and pee on his desk, and it doesn't matter because I have enough money to do whatever I want to do. Where do you guys define that?
The problem is like, money could be at 10 million, but like then all of a sudden you're hanging out with people who have 10 million, and then they have jets, and then you're like, I can't afford a jet with 10 million. I need 100 million, If you're a loser and you only have $200 million, it's as good as a cool guy with 2 million. It does depend on 50 million. It does depend on what you're spending on.
25 million.
100 million.
I'd say $100 million.
Yeah, right?
As well, 100 million.
FU money is around 20 million.
200 million.
You greedy mother.
FU money, my opinion is, say you have $10 million. You invest in 5% treasuries. You're bringing in $500,000 a year. That's enough to send your kid to college, buy braces. You can go on a nice vacation. You can buy a boat. You can have a summer house. I think that's money because you can do whatever you want. You guys agree?
God bless America. You can't have a private jet though.
You can't have a private jet, but you can live the ultimate middle class, upper middle class lifestyle that everybody dreams of.
FU money is money that You don't have to reason for it.
Right.
It's
I
ridiculous.
don't think you have to reason with $10 million.
No, but you can't waste $20,000 on some stripper that you
$500,000 tax-free
You can do a
income.
lot of stuff for upper middle class.
$500,000.
But the key word is upper middle, not upper.
Right. Amen.
You
I don't know,
just
man.
have
I
cheap
don't agree.
taste. That's good. Have fun with
I
your
have cheap taste too. I agree with
That's
that.
good.
Cheers to cheap taste, my friend.
Have fun with your daughter's bracelet. Because I mean, $500,000.
What do we do with $500,000 here? You're not going
pin
to
in my
whatever.
embarrassing.
It doesn't
Drink
even
some
matter.
water.
$500,000 in New York is nothing.
Dude, you can do whatever you want with $10 million.
You can do whatever you want, not whatever we want.
I want to be able to say, I quit this. I'll be a teacher at 40 years old. I'll have my boat in Florida, and I can say, F you, because I have F you money.
Well, have fun in your middle class Florida trailer home. I like the Bahamas better.
I just want to be able to go to any store I want, any car dealership I want, and just do whatever I want. You know, buy whatever I want. At any time during the day.
If some single mother comes up to me and she's waiting this table and I'm just at a diner getting some bite to eat.
I'll give her a $200 tip on $100.
$200 and her kid needs to go to college. I want to be able to say, hey, here's 20 grand, send your kid to college. You know, I think that's what it is. Honestly, that's how I feel. No, it's true.
That's beautiful.
Sorry, Sandy. So gross.
Ever since I put that
He dropped all my clothes on the cockroach.
Trying to help.
Hands-on research.
Pretty pony, pretty pony.
Nobody can bullshit as good as you.
Wall Street takes the brightest people and smashes them into the pavement on a regular basis.
There's only one bottom line on Wall Street, and that bottom line is how much money you make.
This is one of the most stressful jobs on earth. We have stress every single second.
Not everybody can survive.
Greed is ugly. Make as much money as you can so that you can get out of there before it turns you to the dark side. It's Saturday morning and I like to get a jog in the early morning. Usually run a couple days a week. Today's a special day. I'm gonna be drinking all day with my buddy Ed, so it'll be some drunken golf, and then I have a big date tonight with this beautiful model, so it's a big day for me.
So we managed to escape for a nice weekend out to the Hamptons. The Wall Street crowd has really helped make this place what it is. This place is chock-a-block with guys in finance. It's your crowd, your social set. Everybody has sort of congregated here. There are preferences. Some people want to be in South, some people want to be in East. You know, they're all beautiful. Everybody lives their own way out here. My preference is to live very nicely, but not to do it in a very fussy way. And most of the time, the focus really is around my daughter and trying to spend as much time as I can. I don't generally get to see her during the week because I'm in town working and you know, everybody else is out here. So it's really a great opportunity to sort of regroup, and it's probably the thing I love to do the most.
I spend my summer weekends primarily in the Hamptons, and pretty much everybody that I know is out there, so there's a lot of socializing going on and an opportunity to network. Networking is key to success in this business. You really need to go out there and meet people. You make yourself useful to their causes. You have to have good social skills, be a people person. It's a constant process of giving and receiving. And if you're not exceedingly boring yourself, then, you know, it's fun. I'm very excited to be a polo today because although I go riding whenever I can, which isn't that often in New York, I'm excited because I've never been on a polo horse before. I'm used to riding dressage horses or Western styles.
We'll get her up on a polo pony, teach her how to swing a mallet, teach her how to ride a little bit, and
I know how to ride.
See how she does.
Polo.
The hardest thing you can do is stay on the horse, swing a mallet, and keep on the horse.
Are they too short? I mean, if I were riding in the country, yeah, okay.
So this horse is Steve. He's about 7 years old. You're gonna love him. He's very calm
Love him already.
relative to polo ponies. So these are his reins. I'm gonna teach you how to hold polo reins. So you choose a mallet that's based on the size of the horse. That looks good. Put your thumb in like this. Here you go. So you're gonna use a whip.
Oh, really?
Be careful how you use it.
A lot of stuff to hold, I have to say.
Follow me.
We met through mutual friends a while back and always stayed in touch.
And Sandy and I both work in the Wall Street world. I own an investment bank and an asset management business. And that allows me to play polo on the weekends. This week I was in Scotland, Berlin, and Paris, but came back for the weekend for polo because it's so much fun. Most of the guys here have been successful Wall Street professionals in their careers. Yeah, in fact, as I'm looking out on the field, I can tell you that they all are. These are all Wall Streeters.
Today, the best day of the week. It's a barbecue day. Hit the pool, buy some shopping, and enjoy yourself with the family and with the friends. For me personally, I did well in Wall Street, and I'm very happy, I can go buy anything I want, eat anything I want, drive anything I want. We're going today to Brighton Beach. It's a small street, which is probably half a mile in length. It's right by the ocean. Most of the Russians actually who live in New York, they live in Brighton Beach. And we feel like we never left home. In Russia, my parents, my sister, and my grandparents, we used to live in a small two-bedroom apartment. The bathroom was outside. In order to have hot water, my grandparents have to boil it, so it was extremely hard. You got used to very little. For example, in Russia, if you want to go buy cheese, one cheese is just a cheese. Everything made on a daily basis, nice and fresh, always. The Wall Street doesn't really care what's your nationality, what language you speak. I'm in the top 2% in the United States as far as the money making, and I'm really proud of it. It's no meat without sour pickles. You gotta have sour pickles.
We are going to play a little bit of golf. This is my friend Ed. He works for a bank, doing boring bank stuff, and I'm trying to get him into the hedge fund world because it's a lot better pay and he's underpaid. Since we don't have a lot of golf balls, we're going to use one ball. So no matter where your ball goes, you're getting it because that's where you're playing from. I don't care if it goes in the woods. I don't care if it goes in the ponds. You're getting your ball. Come on, baby.
Well, that was a
Boom!
good one, Tim. This could be atrocious.
Nice.
Not too bad.
Let's do it. We're leaving.
Don't leave without
Come
me.
on, catch up. Catch up.
Don't make me.
Catch up.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait, this isn't the right flag. This is in the middle of the fairway.
I'm hitting into that flag. I don't care.
It's a good shot.
I know.
Wrong one.
Oh, boy.
Beautiful.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't want to die by golf cart.
Yeah, you're on the green, almost.
Yeah, I'm on the rough.
Oh, we got people ahead of us, too.
I don't think I'm going to hit them, do you?
No.
Is there a possibility?
No. I will pay you $1 million if you hit them.
Come on, 3 iron.
Dude, you're not going to hit a guy. You can barely hit it 50 feet. Let's go.
Oh,
you got to play it.
This whole one ball thing for my game is a really bad idea.
Yeah, you stupid ball.
What?
Look at that. We got deer in our field of play. I'm going to run these guys over. Come on, deer.
No! Bambi, run! Run, Bambi!
It's a f***ing work of art. Ah. Gotta get it! Gotta get it!
It's in, like, alligator territory.
Get it!
I'm not going in there!
Ed, I invited you. Go up and get your f***ing ball.
It's been
Take off your shoes, get in there. These are the rules?
I don't like playing by your rules.
Go of your
rules.
Get in there. Go.
Yeah, you would.
What?
It's either an egg of an alligator or my ball.
Let's find out. Get it. Boom! Boom! That's how we play.
John Holmes. This is another good piece of Wall Street slang. It refers to when you're really, really long a particular stock. So you got so many shares that you're John Holmes on it.
You know, doing a deal is really fantastic. Riding a pony is just as good because it's about being better, being the best, being number one. It's all about winning. And when you hit it, you have to hit it with the open face of the mallet. Just practice just like that. There you go. Beautiful.
Come on.
There you go. Beautiful.
Just I hit it.
Move your mallet back now. Swing. Almost.
I love the power of horses, their energy, just the force, and form a unity with them and just conquer the world. I started riding when I was 8 or 9. I got private lessons every single day, and I rode numerous tournaments, but then it kind of subsided because I started attending law school, and so I didn't have time for it anymore. Come on, go!
Almost. Stay on.
That is so annoying.
Forward now. Okay, good try.
I think I need to get a feel on how to hit the ball. Should I just try without the mallet once, just to get a better...
No.
Okay.
This is really great because I get to tell Sandy what to do. She doesn't always listen to me.
I have to get a better feel for the distance to the ground and the mechanics.
Beautiful. Okay, you want to break?
No.
Okay, let's go. Make the kissing sound.
Shh.
No, kissing.
Oh.
Polo is not something that someone can just get up on a horse and start doing. You have to really be an experienced rider.
I feel very comfortable on the horse because really when you're trying to hit the ball, you may hit their face, you may hit their feet or their side, and they do not get freaked out at all. Sorry, I hit Steve. It's just elements that you're not used to, like the mallet. That's a little bit different, but I love it.
United States is beautiful. You have a capitalism. You know, all you have to do is just make money and then you can buy anything.
I love America.
Иди попроси маму еще поднос один. When I was in school, when we were learning the history of Russia and United States, it was a big deal. The capitalism was bad, Uncle Sam is bad, Texas is bad. You know, now I figure out that completely what I learned, everything was completely opposite. I personally believe that capitalism, it's good. A lot of people want me to become a money manager, hedge fund manager. You know, I've done very good returns since the day I came to the industry. You know, I'm a very safe player, but it's a big step. It's a huge responsibility. Now I day trade my own money. If I lose my own money. But you know, when you play with other people's money, you gotta sleep with that. I mean, you wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. You gotta make sure that you stick in the good positions. You know, I come home 5 o'clock. I spend the time with the family, and I don't have to worry about what's going to be on Monday. But you know, if you get into that business, it's completely different. You know, I guess not everything in this life about the money. We met 13 years ago through my wife's girlfriend. You know, so we went out. It was a very wonderful date. I fell in love right away.
From the first moment?
From the first moment. And I took her home. In the way to elevator, I wanted to kiss her. And she said, in order to get kissed, you gotta get married. That's how we got married. It took exactly 4 days. It's absolutely true. It's same like on Wall Street, you gotta make a decision fast. If you don't make a decision fast.
I do well on my sevens. I get them up in the air. I gotta keep doing
Cheers. Golf is not golf without beer. Look at that hook. Look at my shot. Come on. Look at this kid. This kid had a rough night last night. Let's go. Focus. Come on. You're up. He's gonna yak.
I'm pretty close.
Get out of the cart. Get out of the cart.
Oh my God. This is brutal. Oh man, do I feel like crap.
It's your shot. Take the club.
Nice. Oh, I don't think. Oh, that's like a hurl position. This is the worst day of my life. Oh,
Oh, I feel like I'm losing my bodily functions.
Yesterday coming out here, we had one of those days is really arduous where, you can be right for 90% of the day, but it's the last 10% of the day that just kills you. You need to be able to say, Monday will come, there's nothing you can do between now, the close on Friday, and Monday morning. There's no way that we can affect what we do. We couldn't trade if we wanted to at this point anyway. So you come out to a place like this and you rest. You have got to shut down a little bit. It is not possible to always be wound up. I mean, there are guys who do that and then suddenly they drop dead. Good boy. I was an athlete my entire life. I'm finding that the last 3-4 years, I'm undoing the last 20 as a consequence of really being nose to the grindstone in order to get things done. What I've done is basically replicated exactly what I have on my desktop in my office out at the beach so that I can see precisely what's going on. I can see literally every single thing that I see in the city. On a weekend, it allows me to relax even a little bit more because I'm not worrying about rushing into the office on Monday to figure out what to do next. What did the market do? What did what we own and what we're short do? What groups are strong, what groups are weak? That's not something we want to leave for 5 or 6 o'clock on Monday morning. There's far too much else going on in the way of real news. It never stops. This is a business that if you don't control it, it is definitely going to take control and control you.
It's very hard to draw the line in networking between personal interaction and business because oftentimes it overlaps. I really enjoy being a deal maker, putting together the deals, but part of that is to raise money for those funds. So I have a lot of contacts in the institutional world. After you've known them for a while, it's a very familiar kind of relationship, and you contact them and you say, hey, I know this guy and his investment strategy is as follows, and he has had really good returns with low volatility, and typically they start funding at 25 million and up. We don't even say million, just talk about 25, 50, 100, 200. That's usually how it goes.
Actually, they once did a report that the 2 highest IQ job were Wall Street and priests. And you can see how they both could use praying.
Right now, since Ed quit, I've won.
I haven't quit.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you f***ing kidding me? Look at that pond. It's disgusting. My ball! On the green!
Golf was never meant to be played this way.
Please stop! Please stop! I hate you so much. Not bad. Oh!
That's how we finished, yeah.
Cheers. Let's go home. I gotta get back to the city now. I got a big date tonight.
I've got pizza by myself, also.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
I think we should swap. No, don't break my bottle. I think I want the girl. You can have the pizza.
I don't think so. I like this girl.
Okay.
Sorry.
This is my motorcycle. I love it.
124 horsepower, 126 pounds of torque, and it's pretty damn quick, same as me. When I trade, I'm as fast as this bike, just a little faster. Her name is a Nightmare. Can't get better than that. That's my pride and joy.
Everywhere I go, the people stop me and look at it. It's just a blast. From the day one I bought it, every time I take this bike out, I'm enjoying myself.
Power of money.
I love coming to the beach because it's the quickest and surest way to decompress. This is very quiet here. It's never crowded because it's a private beach. Just seeing the water and inhaling the fresh air, it's a great change to New York. I come out to the Hamptons usually on Friday. I'm invited by friends who have houses here. Like this weekend, it's a couple that I'm staying with and their children, so it's a very nice atmosphere, very kind of family-oriented. Because of my job and because of where I live, everything is kind of a headache a little bit. So here it's easy. I'm from Düsseldorf, which is in the west. Western Germany, close to Bonn, the former capital. I don't miss Germany too much. I'm too busy, and also New York has too much to offer. You know people through work, and they invite you to their parties, and then they introduce you to their families, and there you meet other people who may become primarily personal contacts, but it may also always play into business. You go to one party, you get 10 invitations for other parties. So it's kind of a snowballing effect. Sometimes it's even hard to streamline it, because I do have to work for a living. When I think of Wall Street, I primarily think of the type of people it attracts, and I would say it attracts mostly very goal-oriented, persistent, resilient types of people. People who know that there's only one bottom line, and that bottom line is how much money you make.
Great shot. This is a great girl that I'm going out with tonight. She might be a model, but she's a very nice model. She's pretty bright. She actually has a sense of humor. She actually has a personality. Just a lot of rare attributes. I'm pretty excited. It's a big night for me. Look at that big ice sculpture. It's crazy.
That is cool.
They have some really good drinks here, too.
Like?
I don't know. I don't drink that crap. I drink my goose and soda.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's my drink.
You used to drink whiskey.
I know. I don't do that anymore.
You don't drink whiskey?
No,
Why?
I'm in it for the long term now. Like, I can't do whiskey all night. Please.
We got the salmon, yellow kiramachi, and the another right.
Sushi is
I'm
like...
just addicted to sushi. Like, I can eat sushi every day.
Welcome to my life. I do eat sushi. I have a $500 a week sushi habit.
I can't pick it up. The Wall Streeters that I know are not very cool. They're all very serious, very, which I understand. But now you are an exception, I must say.
I appreciate that, but...
Is there like a lot of like young ones now?
No.
No, right?
Most young people are like bitches in their firms. They like get people coffee and stuff.
See, like the ones that I know.
That's why I started my own firm. I'm never the bitch. A hedge fund is basically just a company that tries to make money for its investors. And we take a cut from what profits we make them. So our interests are completely aligned with our investors. Whereas if you're a mutual fund, all you do is take a management fee. It doesn't matter if you have a good year or a bad year, you take your management fee. Their interests are not aligned with their investors. That's why hedge funds are better, in my opinion.
I see what you're saying.
Do you? How did you do in the tennis tournament, by the way?
We lost to University of Miami.
Sluts.
No, but we played pretty good. I mean,
sluts.
But it was like...
You lost to a bunch of sluts.
You know them?
I do.
Who?
I don't.
Shut up, man. You get emotional when you get drunk?
I get emotional.
Me too. I cry a lot of times.
I don't know if I go that far.
I cry.
That's awesome. Bring it on tonight. That right there. It's my frequent karaoke card. Look at that. Look at how many stamps I've gotten. But the cool thing is that this place is open till 8 in the morning. This is my late night place. Most guys bring their girls back to their houses. I bring them to karaoke. NYC, baby.
Testing, testing, testing. Ah! I give good audio. My butt hurts from a polo. This is the, what's it called, Tucker? No, melon. No, mallet.
I've traded balls with Tim. I'm kind of excited about it.
Stop making ball jokes. That's just embarrassing.
Successful husband is the person who make money faster than the wife can spend it.